So we got Coach McCoy
Yes,
here
sir.
with Destined for Greatness. We want to, and he's part of the Kingdom community, so we wanted to bring him in and really talk to him and allow him to go through how we connected and then his process of how he's grown Destined for Greatness. So we'd like to get it started with you, Coach McCoy.
Well, my name is Daryl McCoy. I'm actually from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I coached in Jackson, Mississippi. Long story short, I was making a move. I was real successful in Mississippi in coaching, so I was making an adjustment to come from Mississippi to Texas. So I was out supposed to be coming to Plano East, but somehow with the school system, the basketball job wasn't attached to the coaching job no more. So I had reached out to Nick, a mutual friend of mine in Keith. So I called Nick. Nick said, "Yeah, I play with this guy named." He called at first. He said Spencer. So I say, well, let's see if we can link up with him, see what he got for me. He said he got a training facility. You can go over there and train with him till you get on your feet. So he sent me the number. I reached out to Coach Keith. I told him that I'm coming down. I came down for a visit and everything else. I went into the old facility Kingdom for him. Like, man, it's wonderful what he's doing with the kids. And then just talking to Keith and Rob was like godly people. Are like, man, this is God led. This is God purpose. So and then everything else been mentors since they mentored me. They ain't not gonna tell y'all that, but these are two of my mentors.
Yeah, that's crazy, McCoy. Yeah, I remember, man, Nick. Yeah, me and Nick were, real cool, and he was like, man, this is guy, man. He's real passionate. He's knowledgeable about the game, and he just wants to serve. Like he just wants to, come out here and just be a beacon of light to the community. And I'm like, man, you speaking my language because that's what I'm all about. At the end of the day, I'm about, linking with people that are trying to do the things the right way. And so when he told me about you, I was eager to meet you. And when you came in, it was like we knew each other. And I mean, you being from Mississippi, me being from California, us linking up in the DFW area as if we, were brothers almost. It was a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? So,
And let's take it back. Was that year? What year was that?
2016,
yeah.
2015, 16.
So that's when we were in Landmark.
Yeah.
And we were at Landmark.
Right.
And at that time, well, you weren't playing at the Vandals at Landmark.
I don't know. I don't think I was. I think I was already done playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
just
All
stopped. And I might have been like, just playing just to stay in shape, like
Okay.
recreational wise, but I wasn't really heavily involved as far as on the playing
Right.
side.
So then to that 2016 time period, we had just got into Landmark probably, and then that's when McCoy came, and I remember when we first met and he came, I was like, man, this dude, this little short dude walking in here, he's gonna be a trainer. He's gonna be training with us. And then he got out there and just his whole, demeanor is is big. It's huge.
It's bigger than his,
it's
his
bigger
stature.
than his stature. And just his passion and love for the game and the way he related to the kids and just the detail, the level of detail when he was training and just was, you can tell he had a passion and love for it. And he would ask a lot of questions and how we did this and how did this and did that. And long story short, next thing I know, he's saying he's moving to Waco and then he's getting a facility and all that stuff. So, fast forward, or let's tell a little bit of, you were here in Dallas for how long?
Yeah, I was actually when Plano East come through. I ended up taking an assistant coaching job at Dallas Carter, assistant varsity freshman coach. That was probably the biggest adjustments I had because you're talking about a successful high school coach coming into a high school program where he has to become assistant coach. So like the only thing that kept my mind stable was when I kept coming back to Kingdom and working with kids. So like, because when you're going from a head coach, it's your system. And when you go from assistant coach, I got to teach these kids this system, and I'm trying to learn this system at the same time. But when you all allowed me to train, it allowed me to be me and what I already knew. So I remember from telling my wife now that I remember Keith called me say, I'm out of town. I got these two kids. I want you to come train them. Are you interested? I say, they believe in me. So and then I end up driving. They were from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think with Nick and I forgot.
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah, Nick and
Uh-huh.
Anthony.
And so once I started training with them, working with them, I'm like, man, I love this more than coaching.
Yeah.
So and then once I couldn't do the assistant coaching job for too long. So even though it was a great school, great program, I ended up going to Waco where I came back to be a head coach. I rebuilt their program, made playoff both years, beat the #1 team in the district, coach of the year. Then I said the game of basketball changed. You had so many kids that came to the school and they didn't understand basketball. And I use that story all the time. In Texas, you have great body size, you have great athletes, but in Mississippi, you have great knowledge of the game. So I say the only way I can help these kids understand the knowledge of the game is through my gift, which is basketball, but also help develop them. So, and that's when I launched Destined for Greatness Basketball. That was more, we ended up getting a facility through the whole 4 year. We only been in existence 4 years. October the 26th was actually the 4 year anniversary of Destined for Greatness.
Man, congratulations, man.
And that was the day we closed on a new car.
That's beautiful.
For my wife and I was looking through the paperwork. And then it was more of, we have grown from over the 4 years from 4 AAU teams to 19 AAU teams. I train over 120 kids. I go from Temple, Axtell, Moody, Chilton just to do training. Kids come from like an hour and 20 minutes to train with me.
Man.
So it's just the journey that God took me through. I was able to step away from high school after 16 years of coaching.
Man, that's beautiful, man. So we got a lot to unpack because you let it out, you let the rounds out. So go back to where you talked about growing up in Mississippi and how different the game is from the DFW, because DFW now produces some of the top athletes in all sports, really, arguably. So you mentioned the IQ aspect in Mississippi versus just the size and stature of these players in Texas. So just talk about that IQ and how that's developed and how that kind of made you who you are as a coach.
So like even as a coach on the high school level in Texas, if you have a star player, he's probably one of the best players in the state of Texas. Your team is considered good.
Mm-hmm.
But in Mississippi, your 6, 7, and 8 man has to be just as good as your first 5, because a coach like me, and the reason I got a lot of success, I take away your strong point. So I take away your top guard, I take away your top shooter, and I want to see, can your teammates adjust without them in the game? I'll face guard you from the beginning of the game to the end of the game.
Man, and that's crazy because you hear game plans where they say he's gonna get his, like he's gonna get his just to let nobody else beat you. But you guys are the opposite. It's we're gonna take him out and we're gonna force the role players to beat us.
If you're gonna beat me, you're gonna beat me with your backup point guard.
Yeah.
If your point guard runs all the offense through him, your point guard is not gonna beat me. So whether your point guard don't have to be the best scorer, but if your offense ran, if I watch film and everything goes through your point guard, I'm taking your point guard out the game.
Yeah.
And I'm a lot of coaches say, well, I teach my defense this way. I don't teach them, force them to the middle. If you can't go left, I'm gonna force you to the left.
Okay.
I'm gonna force you to your weak side. And once you go downhill, take that charge. If you go in like tendencies, you have some kids that I'm like when we played, I'm not gonna call names, but you have some of the best kids in the area. Once they go right, they going hard right.
Mm-hmm.
When they go left, they're gonna change directions
You
with
go
a
back,
jump shot.
yeah.
So I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna go force you hard right, which is your strong point, but I'm gonna take a charge. So now you out the game, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So now when you go hard right, you're not used to pulling up, shooting the ball off the right side. So now you have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
So and that's the difference between a lot of coaches are good coaches, but they're not good in-game adjusters.
Mm-hmm.
So and when you're playing against a coach from Mississippi, for instance, Thomas Billups at Wilma Hutchinson's, he's always successful because he have that Mississippi mindset. Like he has his system, but he's gonna take advantage of his system.
Yeah.
So he's gonna try to dominate your 1 and 2 and let your 6 through 12 beat him. And his dad is the winningest coach in Mississippi. I had the opportunity to be his assistant coach for 4 years. So he taught me is that your 15 man has to be just as good as your 1 man if you want to win the state championship.
I love that. So what goes into the preparation of stopping somebody's star player? Like how deep are you going as far as film, scouting? Kind of break that down.
Every day in practice, we do shell drill. Part of our shell drill is face guard. We do charge drill and face guard drill every practice. We'll do 4-on-4 shell drill, going live and whoever the best scorer or whoever the ball handler in that group, I tell one of the kids, like, we'll rotate. I say, Johnny, you get him face guard. Don't let him touch the ball. And they're going offense. Everybody else is working shell drill, but they're going scenarios, playing live. And this kid's not off the ball. But at the same time, I'm teaching whoever Johnny's guarding how to read the face guard and react, because if we have that star player, if we do it, someone's going to do it to us. So John is not the kid is not just standing around. He's trying to come off the face guard, off a dribble handoff, or whatnot to get the ball. But that makes the defender works 10 times harder than now on the ball.
Man, that's good stuff right there. I like that. So kind of go in depth about the school district. You know, you said you came here with that in mind, right? Working for school, being a coach, and then you got in that realm, and then you transitioned to entrepreneurship. So talk about your experiences, good and bad, in the school district, and then the transition to entrepreneurship and having your own facility.
In the school district, I had the opportunity to be an AD for 2 years at Rapport Academy. You really saw the ins and outs of politics, and not along with Texas, but with UIL. For instance, like with UIL can approve a kid, but the DEC can cause that kid to hurt or take the opportunity for the kid to play. To me, that's the craziest thing in America, because if we are friends and we don't like this player over here, I'll give you a real world scenario. When I first took the job at Rapport had won 4 games in 5 years, 6 years. So once I took the job, 3 kids transferred over, not from basketball. They just transferred over because of the downfall of the schools that they were coming to in the academics. So we went 13-0 during the regular season, right before Christmas break. We were 13-0. So you have 4 teams in the district that was already district contenders to make the playoff. So now we're winning. So one of those 4 teams have to drop. So one on one make playoff. So they all went in and voted all 3 of them players ineligible.
Wow.
And so I wasn't mad that they ruled those kids ineligible. I was more upset, like even now with the UIL, with the Duncanville situation. I never speak on the UIL or Duncanville, but you have to look at it. A kid can transfer anywhere to any school because of trades, because of academics.
Right.
But a kid can't transfer to get a better opportunity to play basketball.
Man.
It doesn't even have to be the school. The kid probably want to play with his friend.
Right.
Or a kid probably want to play for a coach because that kid feel like that coach knows better for him and can help him reach his peak. Now you're talking about a D3 opportunity to a D1 opportunity just because of the environment that he's in. But kids get ruled ineligible, which means it's hurt kids. But it doesn't really be the UIL; it be the people that's involved in the district.
Yeah, 100%.
So to me, I took it personal because I care less how you feel about me. But you ruined the kid's senior year. The kid was getting recruited, so then he had to play JV the second part of the year. You're talking about a senior playing JV, missing out on his senior season. Then COVID happens. So all the workouts that the kids are supposed to go to for showcase and trials, he no longer go. Messed up the kid whole life because of a win.
Wow.
So like my mindset was, no matter what kid's on the floor, the ball still got to go through the basket. You still got a game plan. You can have all the talent in the world. Anybody gonna have an off night. So I don't go into the game or go into the mindset of, okay, well, we got to do this to stop them. I know we're good at. We're good at defense. We're good at face guard, and we're good at taking charge. We're gonna take that and run with it. I don't care who we play. I never shy away from competition. I was a 2-way playing 6A. So the ball still has to go through the basket. So the AD allows you to see all that, see behind the scenes. But then it also comes with a lot of baggage of, I got into coaching and teaching to be there for the kids. As an AD, they sometimes want you to shy away from the kids and be in the office all the time.
Yeah.
And that wasn't me.
Because you're missing the connection part, and that's why you started doing what you do. Yeah.
And that's what led me to, okay, well, I'm going to focus on Destined for Greatness and build this up. I ended up taking that last year at Riker where I did win district. I did win Coach of the Year, but I felt like I stepped away on a good note.
Okay. I mean, but in that position of being a coach and AD, do you feel like you have the authority to create change?
Nah.
Okay.
You have the authority to create it within the school system.
Okay.
Like I grew Rapport athletic program, but whereas to change the environment, change the culture of basketball within the state. You don't.
Mm.
You actually, to me, unless you're actually being controlled.
Yeah, so it's actually a worse position because now you're having to maybe utter things that you don't agree with, but you're just passing it through. It's like the funnel effect of I'm getting this information from the powers that be, so I'm just enforcing whatever it is that I'm getting told to say.
So, because
Yeah.
when they had the DC hearing about the kids, I wasn't even invited.
Hmm.
You go like the DC committee, or the DC committee is the superintendents.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I disliked about the DC at the time, our DC chairperson was a football coach,
Mm-hmm.
has no idea about basketball.
Right.
So your football coach is the DC chairperson for basketball.
He's dictating everything that happens on the court. Yeah, with no understanding of how that flows. That's interesting, man. So being in that environment, do you feel like that is what fueled you to want to do your own thing, or was that a part of the plan? Like you went into the school system saying, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be able to impact the community of athletes, not just a school, right? Or do you feel like being in that school system pushed you to want to do something outside of it?
I say it was both. I say mainly because you see a lot of kids that comes in that lacks the skill set, lacks the basketball knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So like by me coaching, it was harder because God led me to rebuild several programs. So I never took over a winning program. Every program I took over, I had to build from ground up.
Yeah.
So by being in that, I wouldn't say stressful situation, but being in a coaching standpoint, it's I'm working with this group of kids, but there are so many more kids that I can reach if I'm stepping away from it.
Right.
And so that was the transition from me saying, okay, let's create something, let's create change.
Mm-hmm.
And so like now, even as I transition over to training, you come to a lot of kids that been kicked off their or didn't make the 7th grade team.
Yeah.
Didn't make the team.
Yeah.
And so like in Texas also, like in Texas, you have a lot of middle school programs that are basketball coaches or football coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So of course,
And some even teachers.
Yeah, just getting a stipend to coach.
Yeah.
And so like you have a lot of kids who thrive off basketball. So if you're a football stud and you're in the 7th grade and I want you to stay in this school, I'm gonna put you on the basketball team if you want to play basketball, just keep you happy.
Mm-hmm.
But what about this little kid who doesn't play anything for basketball? You took his spot because you want to keep this football player happy.
Yeah.
So I come across a lot of kids that have lost the love of basketball, and I help them rekindle that love. Like the kid that came here, Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian made 7th grade B team.
Mm.
He made 7th grade B team, but now he's just starting point guard on your freshman 18.
There we go. And that's the reward right there, is seeing that progress.
And like I said, that's the greatest feeling in the state championship.
That's beautiful, man. So
and just to go off what you said about Sebastian and to tie into community and collaboration and helping one another in order to help the athlete. Sebastian came to our 9th grade combine we had, and you sent it out to your whole organization, which we reached out to a lot of other coaches and trainers and whatnot. And, of course, I can't read anybody's mind or what they thought, but we're reaching out to the community in order to try to enrich athletes and give the athlete a good experience. And so we just want to thank you for that.
100%.
And always supporting what we do, and we try to support what you do, and that's what it's about, And I just wanted to touch on that because not everybody's going to do that.
It's like that, and it's like that in Waco also. You have a lot of different organizations, but I adapted a mindset that I compete within.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at what I do. I know what I do. I don't have time and the energy to focus on what nobody else is doing around me. So, like, you have a lot of kids. John Thomas, the director of DC Kings, he once told me that there's no loyalty in AAU because here AAU is huge, but in Mississippi it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So Mississippi, like, we can coach our kids year round.
Okay.
So we have summer leagues where we play 8 weeks of summer throughout May, June, and July is our off period, but you can practice through the month of July with no violations. So here it's more of AAU, and then like it's some kids that I built up. I think it was like last year. There was some kids that I built up, and one of them ended up leaving. This one of the kids that I don't have for a while, so he ended up leaving, going to another program. And then me and John was talking. He was just talking about, coach, there's no loyalty. Control what you control in the gym. So, and I changed that mindset. So I don't focus on what nobody else doing. I don't focus on if somebody betrayed me. It is what it is. You did what you did. As long as I focus on me. And so as long as I create that mindset, like all the people, and it may be petty of me, but all the people who had access to what other people was doing at other gym, I delete them off social media. So because long as what you're doing coming across my page, I'm focused on what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't come across my page, I don't know and don't care, because I'm not the type to go back and say, oh, let me see what he's doing over there in his gym.
Yeah.
So and so when I changed that mindset, like a lot of people support me, a lot of people don't. So I see on Facebook, social media, people who I thought supported me, they share everybody else stuff. But when that line come across the page, you don't see no shares from them.
I mean, so let's talk about that. So why do you feel that is? I mean, because I mean, it's knowing you, you know what I mean? Again, we didn't grow up together. You came from a whole different state. I came from a different state. And for us to meet in the middle and to just hit it off and to be organic and authentic through the culture and show love for each other, and you being a stand-up guy, like through and through. Every time I'm coming across with you, because I'm trying to get like you, I'm trying to be like y'all. Like, it's all love. It's nothing but genuine love and care for one another. How could you not support somebody like that? How could you not get behind somebody like that to push forward whatever it is that they're doing? Like, why do you feel that is the case?
It's more of, and if we take it back to my childhood, my hood mentality, it's more of they didn't expect. They didn't expect me to do what I did.
Yeah.
And then like I once heard a baby say, I'm not gonna do something with somebody who my friend is beefing with. So out of respect for him. So that's how it is down there. So a lot of people don't support me because their friends don't support me.
Okay.
So
For something that has nothing to do with basketball, just like
just
Just in general.
they didn't expect you to win. So now that you're winning, they can't support
they
it.
don't want to be attached to it.
Wow.
So because they didn't do it first.
Yeah.
So if it's not them, and then you also have to look at, I'm not from Waco.
Yeah.
So it makes it totally different. Everything that a lot of these people had in their mind that they've been trying to work on for 10, 15 years, I came and I made it happen within 3.
Yeah.
But like I tell them, you can't be mad at me. You got to be mad with God.
That's it. Take that up with
And
him,
so
man.
I made a post like probably about 3 weeks ago. Why would I be jealous of the next man receiving his blessings when God blessing me every day?
Amen. Yeah, that's it.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to be selfish. Say, God, I don't want you to bless me. Don't bless them. So, but like I said, once I changed that mindset, I started shying away from the competition. We were driven. Like we have a lot of stuff in works right now.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot going on. So that gave the energy that I would have used in the past to focus on my surrounding. I now use that energy to focus on the growth and promotion.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So the name Destined for Greatness, I mean, we evidently see and feel why it's that. I mean, that greatness, that competing within, like that being consistent, that doing things the right way. So talk about your transition from the school district and taking that leap of faith and opening your own facility and all that went along with that.
Well, it was, I tell you, it was all God. I'm gonna be honest. So like, if you really wanna test God, just try it. But don't try it to where it's disrespectful. So long story short was, when I left Rockport, God told me to step away and focus on Destined for Greatness. Me thinking financially I wouldn't be able to provide for my family. So I took a job that had less time commitment, and I was able to focus on Destined for Greatness. But the less time that was committed brought more stress.
So it was a job that wasn't in education. It was something totally different.
Education.
Oh, okay. It was a different position.
It was a different school. I went back to Riker.
Okay.
Freed me up because it's less kids.
Got you.
Less classes. Still basketball. But it brought more stress with all the changes that was going. Where if I would have just did that last year, I wouldn't have had all the accolades that I had from coaching last year. But right now, I'm the happiest person in the world. I
Wow.
have all my free time. I have all the stuff going for Destined for Greatness. So it took me to say, God, I apologize.
You
I
didn't have you didn't
disobeyed
have
you.
fully you didn't fully have faith in it. You were like halfway in, like I'm
Uh,
gonna halfway step out. I'm not gonna fully put my trust in you
but
in the vision you gave me.
if it was my wife, say, God wants you to completely step away.
Mm.
You had a pastor told me that I think it's time for you to step away and focus on Destined for Greatness. Then you had a board member who was out for lunch. He said the same thing.
Hmm.
He said, because I don't think you're going to get what you're going to get out of the school system. Step away and
Yes.
focus on Destined for Greatness. That's 3 people who told me that was confirmation.
Yes, sir.
So I took a risk.
And it's crazy because you and I both made that transition the
Yeah.
same exact time.
Yeah.
Like we had been talking about it for a while. Like, oh man, we got to step away, man. Yeah, but the same fear. So we really connected with that fear of taking that step. You know what I mean, and taking that full leap and really submerging ourselves in the passion and the vision God has given us. And once we did it, we felt new. It was like I felt great. I got my time, I got my energy, my work-life balance is better, my family's better. Everything is flourishing in the right direction.
And so that was that leap of faith really opened my eyes about everything. So it fully gave me like, God, this is your will.
Yeah.
This is what you want. So if this is what you want, this is what I'm doing.
So yeah, talk about the facility. Okay, how did you acquire the facility? What was it before? And just go into the grunt work that it took to get going.
And we had in our episode before, we said if you're a trainer, one thing every trainer wants is their own facility.
Right.
Okay, and so once you get it, was it everything that you expected?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yep.
go. I just wanted to put that in there. Now answer Keith's question.
It was like you said, it is a dream for every trainer to have their own facility. But you know the saying that with God, that be careful what you pray for.
That's what you
So
said.
most people pray
Exactly.
for these luxury, but they didn't pray for everything that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
So like even with the facility, it was a test of faith where we wasn't about to get the facility. So my back against the wall, they was actually about to sell it to somebody else. So instantly I go back to God. God, is this really what you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
So and then everything in my head, be patient, son. Be patient. Be patient. Like other people, I'm in the gym training. The other people coming to the gym. So I was on month to month right after COVID. So everything, trying to get everything in, like the closing of everything. So I'm seeing these people coming from California talking about what they're gonna do with the gym. I'm in the gym training. True story. I was in the gym training, and the guy, I forgot the company he was CEO. He told the owners of the gym, well, he pulled me to the side. Every morning when I train, I listen to my gospel music, no matter what. So I had some, I think, 4th and 5th graders in there training with me. It was 3 of them. And I listened to my gospel. The guy told me, say, my kid's been playing basketball forever. I never saw a trainer train like you train. And so once he told me that, the owners, or if the family that owns the facility, to open up their eye, but they've actually been trying to tell them what my board member have been telling them the whole entire time. So the guy actually said, I think he needs this facility.
So the guy that was gonna buy it said,
That's beautiful,
oh,
man. That's
So
beautiful.
it was more of, but the family was a great family. They all respect, we all are close. And then one thing led to another. So like the facility we had was mainly used for storage.
Okay.
So I'm talking about, it was times we have open gym and we were trying to bring it up to code or up to date. You'll be playing on the floor and you'll just slip and fall because all the old oil on the gym floor was still on there. So a lot of times we had to change the mindset of the drill and just do shooting drills because you could do less movement. But then, like I said, by the grace of God, we had a renovation of the gym floor. Water leak, water got under the floor, boost the floor up, insurance recovered, brand new gym floor now.
Yeah.
So and then we were able to get the high school, college, and 3-point line. But like the part that people don't understand is the headache and the cleaning up. Like it is like you learn a lot about people just by running a facility.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother used to always tell me before he passed that no one is going to run it like you run your own.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of times, like I have great support, great coaching staff that's there, that if I was in here now, it's still up and running because they'll unlock the gym, they'll work the gym. But it took me to being able to depend on them to say, hey, we need to get this done or we need to do that, because a lot of times it'll be dirty until I get there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like just maintaining, but when you're in there, you're always thinking, what's next? What's next? What's next? How can I make this better?
Mm-hmm.
How can I make this facility better than it was yesterday?
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
beautiful thing about that thought is you have the ability and the autonomy and the power to push the button to make it better versus working for somebody else or working in the school system where it's got to go up the ladder to a chain of people who could care less about you got music or whatever going on. They don't care about. They want the bare essentials to get the job done. But when it's your business and your operation, your vision, you have that ability to be able to create it on demand.
And that's the draw of being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you want to be an entrepreneur, but what comes with it is a whole is a lot of headache.
You have to have that drive. You have to have that grind. Because like I tell my clients all the time, if you're just training just to training, your training is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Irrelevant. You have to have that purpose of why you train and why you play the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That purpose is going to be your drive. I think my driving force now, besides showing my daughter that working hard can lead to great success, is that when COVID first hit, I got denied the PPP from my business. Business just opened. I had actually took a loss in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing everybody scamming, everybody getting
Mm-hmm.
money but me. So once I didn't get approved for the PPP, I made a note on my phone that's still in my phone today. It said on April 28th, I worked so hard that I never have to depend on the government again.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, you probably are better than trained than me, but you'll never outwork me.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying is that I think I made a post 2 weeks ago. I work so hard that my daughter, great grandkids will be set for life.
Yes, sir.
And that's my mindset. So
Yes,
every
sir.
day I'm chasing dreams. Every day I'm saying, okay, this project in my head, let me write it down.
Yeah.
This project, I think this project good, let me write it down. I go present it to God. God, if it's still in my head, let's run with it.
Yes, I'm
God, if
talking
this the
about.
route you want me to go, let's go. So I'm talking about like by stepping away from the schools, I've been motivated more than ever.
Yeah, because now you're locked in and you're focused on building your legacy.
And so we're trying to build, we're trying to get where we have 4 or 5 courts in one gym. So yeah, I can tell my game plan.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off camera, don't. Yeah. Don't give them that. Don't give them that.
You'll come back for the rebuild.
Yeah, because like if you see what
Once
God
you get
got
it
in my
done.
head, where he taking us, y'all will be happy for me too.
Right. Yeah.
So
So what I want to take that from you real quick. So if God would have showed you, because you didn't know this was going to be your path, right? You came here with an idea and a vision and in a somewhat of a purpose of what you thought it was going to be, and God showed you something else. If God would have showed you this back then, would you have chased it and all that it took to get there?
I don't think I would, because I didn't like in Mississippi it wasn't huge at the time, but like dealing with God, if God show us our destination, why would we need God? If he show us where we're going to end, the end road, why we have to depend on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't trade my journey for anything. I don't trade the path, because it led me to where I'm needed, not to where I wanted to be. Because if it was where I wanted, I would have been a collegiate coach.
Okay.
I had a lot of success. I have a lot of knowledge about basketball. But now he's allowing me to use that knowledge to not become a collegiate coach, but help a collegiate coach by making sure the kids are ready when they go there.
That's good.
So,
That's good.
But yeah, I don't think, like if he was, like even with teaching and coaching, I never in a million years thought I'd be a teacher.
I said the same thing. I'm like, man, I hated school, man. I'm walking through the hallways like as a student. And I'm like, and I grew up like, how the heck am I doing this now? Like, I'm still in the school. Like, this is not where I wanted to be.
And my brother used to always tell me, say, remember how you used to act in school? All your kids gonna be just like, boy.
Yeah.
But like, even in the school system, like I think I had, out of 16 years of teaching, I think I only had 1 fight in my class.
Yeah.
It was structured. It was disciplined, mainly because of teaching is not hard.
Right.
Coaching is not hard. Building a relationship is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
So if you build a relationship with your kids, you can get your kids to do anything. That's come from training, coaching, teaching.
Yeah.
So I didn't go into, oh, I'm your teacher, you're going to do this. I'm gonna get to know you.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna know when you're having a good day. I'm gonna know when you're having a bad day. So with training, it's pretty much the same thing. You have kids that lost the love of basketball, but now you have the kids that have people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if they don't make the team, they know they have a facility they can come to, laugh, smile, get better. So they know their end goal is not where they're at right now.
For sure. For
So,
sure.
and that's one thing we try to emphasize at the facility. We're not looking at where you're going to be next year. We're looking at where you're going to be 5 years from now. We're looking at if you develop a strong work ethic in this gym, you'll have a strong work ethic in life.
Anywhere.
So, that's the key.
Yeah. So like
it's bigger than basketball.
Yeah, it's bigger. We try to teach life skills.
That's
through
big.
The game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from what you can reveal, what's next for Destined for Greatness?
Right now we're doing the YouTube videos, the training videos, and the guy who's behind the training videos, he has some in store.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was chasing one dream, but he looked at it as like, okay, let's take these videos and let's do this with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another way of God opening the door, aligning in the right people, because I could have easily went this route and I would have settled. But he's taking this route, so we're unpacking the boxes, which is going to bring these people over here to me instead of me chasing them.
That's good. And that's what we talked about in our last episode. We had Coach Clint, one of our longest tenured coaches, and we talked about, the importance of having a strong team. And you're only as good as your team. It doesn't matter how powerful your vision is. If you don't have the right people in position that's going to push you, be able to implement it, execute it, and be consistent with it, it's never going to mature and be what it can be. So talk about, your team and the people that, family, friends, colleagues, coaches that you work with that help keep you accountable and help moving Destined for Greatness towards what it's supposed to be.
I love my team, man. Like I love going there. Like, of course, just like any family, you have your bumps and bruises, you have your arguments, disagreement. But one thing about me and the person God made me be, 95% of the times you don't see me on Destined for Greatness. I'm always posting the kids. I'm always about the community. I'm always about the other coaches. So with them, I can call and say, hey, can you do this for me right now? So now what was hard for me because of trust issues, God broke that barrier down where I can say, hey, can you get this? And I don't have to call you 5 times to see if you got it done.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're going to get done. Same way you call me and say, can you work with these kids?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to call me. Are you still on your way? You still on your way? Are you going to be there? So now it's different from whereas 3 years ago, I tried to go get it myself. So one of the biggest problems I had when I first became an entrepreneur was that I tried to do everything myself and then delegate the duties.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody used to tell me, you're going to kill yourself. You're not going to be able to enjoy what you're building. So I had to take heed to it. And so I had to put trust in the other coaches. Once I started putting trust in the other coaches, we became more as family and not just coworkers.
Mm.
And with that, like right now you have coaches or the outreach people saying, okay, we can do this, or okay, we can do that, or what do you think about this idea, or what do you think about that idea? And then, like I said, okay, let's present it to everybody and let's go with it.
Yeah, 19 teams, and just like you were inspired by coming to our facility and seeing our training and our what we built, have you had any instances when someone that's been part of your organization, a trainer, coach, what have you, has got inspired and wanted to start their own?
You trying to get me to unpack the box? I'm gonna unpack some of it. One of the things we just did is that we have a lady that's in the program. She wants to start another organization under Destined for Greatness, but it's going to be for a certain type of kids. I'm not going to tell them everything, but it's supposed to be for a certain type of kids. And also, we just merged with my sister who runs Most City Elite. So they have Most City Elite DFG, which is Destined for Greatness. So
Most City is
in Houston.
Okay.
So it's in Houston. So she took what I started with, and then she just branched off of it. And because they have some of our policies, just like we merged that organization together. So right now, she has 10 teams already out of Houston. She has 10 teams. And the bulk of them are elite teams. But the only thing that she's doing different, that she's adding volleyball, she's adding the after school tutorial, the sisterhood mentor. She already had a nonprofit with sisterhood. So now she's using what we have accomplished here in Waco that I say the foundation of it, because it's not the whole curriculum yet. But she's using that foundation, and she has launched her own program.
That's
Man,
beautiful,
that's a
man.
blessing. That's awesome.
And her teams they're good.
Man,
So they're actually good.
that's good.
And so that's the thing I was getting at is when you have something powerful and people are, within that organization get inspired, and they may have a entrepreneur spirit, but they're scared to step out on faith. They're scared to chase their dream, but watching you, they're like, oh man, maybe I can do this. And they build up that confidence. And then you're mentoring them and helping them, on their journey and path.
So,
and that's what it's about.
And to speak on that, I always tell the coaches all the time, when I didn't get the PPP when Destined for Greatness really branched off in lunch, I had created that mindset. Either you build your dreams or you spend your whole life building somebody else's dreams.
Right.
So I always encourage my my staff to chase your dreams. It's, you can't say what if. You can't live in regrets. So if you have the opportunity to chase your dreams, chase your dreams. If they branch out and start an organization next door to me and take half the kids, I wouldn't be mad.
You still gonna be good, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I look at.
God got
Yeah,
me.
you
So,
still gonna be good.
And so that's what I love most about the organization, was not only am I able to train kids and help kids, I'm actually bringing in people to do something that they love to do on a day-to-day basis. We have 2 coaches women coaches, and it's hard to get great women coaches. So we have 2 women coaches who love basketball, have the passion for basketball, but never really coach. And now I know we have one of them that done spent probably about $700 for certifications, learning the game of basketball, learning this, what to do, how to work with kids. So she's not trying to be no high school coach. She's just trying to have an impact with the kids.
Yeah.
So she's the Positive Alliance, all that stuff. So she's going through all those certification classes. So it was an opportunity for me to give or create jobs and for others to do something that, like I said, they was already doing on a daily basis. We have coaches from other organizations that saw what we were doing and came and merged with our organization.
Man, I love it, man. Man, bro, this was blessed. I mean, so to wrap up, man, I just want to first and foremost just tell you thank you, man. Thank you for, your friendship, being a part of, my brotherhood and family. And I'm just super inspired just to watch you grow. I mean, every time, you're coaching, you're locked in, you're developing players, you're helping them get to the next level, not only on the court, but in life. You're teaching principles that these kids are going to be able to use in their adulthood and with their families. And so I'm just super proud of you, man, and love you and just wish the best for you and more to come, man, because, as these kids are destined for greatness, you're destined for greatness. And God has blessed you thus far, and he's got a lot more blessing to give you, man. So I love you, man, and I appreciate what you're doing for the community and for the culture out here, man. So I asked this question, and you probably already touched on it if we go back and look at the footage, but how has the Kingdom community impacted you on your plight?
First, Kingdom actually gave me the vision. Like when I first started training, I had the opportunity to train those kids. I said, this is something I love to do on a day-to-day basis. And I said at the beginning that y'all are my mentors. It's nothing for me to call y'all. Every time in the area I have time I pop up, I always tell y'all I'm proud of y'all just because of the foundation and the mindset that y'all have given me. And it helps me to get to where I'm from. And one thing I learned as a child is never forget where you come from and never forget the people who helped you. So I also want to thank y'all at the same time because you all have helped me create this philosophy or create this mindset to go chase my dreams. Because I could have still been in the school system today, but because of the mindset y'all gave me, like dreams do come true, you could chase your dream. Like I said, me and you always talking, we stepped away at the same time.
Yep.
We could have easily been in the school system right now. We probably wouldn't be here.
Man, stuck.
So Keenan made a major impact, and I know we always run our deals off each other.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
had a major impact of how Destined for Greatness actually started.
I love it, man.
Good thing.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
Much love to you,
coming,
McCoy.
Coach McCoy.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad
The real McCoy.
The real McCoy.
All right. It's a wrap.